Welcome to Country Kickback, where you'll hear the latest music from performers you already know and discover new music and artists from around the world. If you have an artist you'd like us to chat with, reach out to the team at countrykickback.com, or you can watch our live videos and more by following us on social media and YouTube. Here is your host, Danni Shaw, with the latest from Country Kickback.
Hello, I fixed it. Got it working. Hi, everybody. I know we've just been live and had a chat to Susan, so I hope in the time that we've gone and logged off of there and logged back in, you got a chance to go and pre-save or pre-order her album. I've had a little bit of a taste, and it's a lovely album, and it's such an easy listening, so go and get it if you haven't already, but not till we're finished. Wait till it's finished. I know it hasn't been that long since we chatted to Liam, so it's a bit exciting that he's back again with more music for us. So we're going to welcome him in the room and have a chat to him. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. It hasn't been that long since we've seen you, so you've been very busy.
I've been busy enough, yeah, keeping flat stack, and yeah, great to be back.
Back to gigging is pretty good. How are your fingers and voice from all this? Had you lost that stamina?
Yeah, not as gig fit as I once was, but
yes,
no, it's good. I mean, getting back into the swing of it. It's chilly of late, so I was doing a gig and they put me outside the other night. I'm like, oh yeah,
oh my gosh,
it's been a while since winter.
How do you do that? I wouldn't be able to play. My fingers are just I wouldn't be able to feel them.
Sometimes that's a good thing. Push through.
Yeah, true. Kaz, we've already got people in the room, so people are very quick tonight. It's lovely. She said, "Hey, Liam, she loves your new song." I do too.
Thank you so much.
Is in the room. He's saying hi.
Hey, Ricky.
The new song. I wanted to talk to you about the artwork first because I love this picture. I think it is such a great. I love the red. I love the old building. Tell me about it.
So the picture was it was an interesting because the guy who did the photos, I came across him on the local music page Facebook group. Who is a guy who takes photos for Ben Hosking is his name. He takes photos of classic cars and machinery and all that. And he's like, I'm branching out doing more band photos. He's in a heavy metal band. And he's like, oh, what sort of music do you do? I'm like, country. He said, I haven't heard any of that. But yeah, let's catch up and we'll do some photos. And lovely guy, and I said this is sort of what we want to do. And around East Maitland, where we are, there's so many cool places. There's a lot of historic buildings, little alleyways, shop fronts, and this is one that's an alleyway. So my last single, Game and Trade, was the artwork. We were in front of a glass door on one of the main streets, so taking photos, all these trucks driving past.
Is that him as well? Did he do that photo as well?
Yeah, so that's all from the one too.
Yeah.
And then we I'm like, oh, let's get some different ones while we're here. And then this was just the alleyway beside, so we had to drive around, and they're like, yeah, up you go. And so we're just in amongst the pipes, and it's cool. I love the area. So
I love that. I love that you find these little tucked in places too, because a lot of the time we don't notice them, and it just shows we should take notice because there's lots of little hides we can find.
There's cool places, it's finding that special thing, and and everywhere. And I don't always have an eye for it. I my thing's the audio, where I go, oh, that sounds cool, and I'll try and record that teaspoon whacking a jug. But when we do video, like when I watched tuned in with Duncan last night, Dunk's really good at seeing those things for videos.
Yes.
And then Ben was much the same doing the photos. He was like, oh, that's a cool look. I'm like, oh,
yeah. Sweet. I was talking to Duncan before the show last night, and he was, because he was sitting in the filmery, and he said, this has been the set for all this sort of stuff. And he was telling me, and I was just thinking, how do you plan that in your head and then build it and make it come to life? I guess that's the same with you. You do that with your sounds. You obviously have an idea of what you're thinking, and then you hear something else, and you can build it in your mind and make it so it happens for us to hear.
Yeah.
But
that's it. It's just there's so much that's been done before. It's just finding your own little thing.
there is so much that's been done before, but then you find stuff that hasn't, and I like that about your music. I like the layers in your music because there's so many different things going on, and you can sort of hear that you've thought every sort of step of the way, and I like that.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's a pain in the ass for some people. Ted Howard, who mixes my stuff, he's phenomenal engineer and great at mixing. But send him all the stems, and he rings me. He goes, "Well, there's a lot there." Well, good luck, mate. But there's so much because I was influenced by so much. Growing up, and then now as well, I'd sit in the car because everyone goes, "Oh, what do you listen to in the car on the way to the work?" And it's everything from bluegrass to rock to blues, and so I and the reason why a lot of the new stuff too has got a lot of horns on it. It's based around the horn sound. Is that I started out as a trumpet player in the local silver band, and on the
Yes.
back of a truck at Christmas time playing Christmas songs on trumpet. And but yeah, I just go, oh, that's cool, and trying to fit them together.
I love that because actually it's funny. I remember an interview, and you would have probably heard it too. It was Keith Urban was doing an interview, and he was talking about one of his songs. He had a guy that was on the didgeridoo, and he just found that on YouTube, and reached out. And I think I like how you do it because you sound like you'll be just going about your daily life, and then you'll hear a sound and think, oh, that'd go cool with this, and it's interesting how people perceive that.
Absolutely, because I mean, there's one specifically. I've got a song coming out, looking like it'll be in August, which I wrote with Dobe Newton. Or he wrote the lyrics, and I was like, oh, I need some music, mate. So I put it together, and it's going to be a collab with the Bushwhackers. We're going to release it together, and but it's it's folk country, like their sort of thing. But it's also very Celtic as well. And Gabby is she was raised playing a lot of Celtic music, which is where I've heard a lot before. But both the Whackers and myself and Gab, we all love these sessions called the Transatlantic Sessions, which if you haven't seen them, they're phenomenal. They're the best bluegrass and folk players in the States, and the best in England, Ireland, Scotland all get together in a castle for a week, and they mash their music.
Gosh. Yes.
So this new one with the Whackers, it's this beautiful folk song, but we got solo with the uilleann pipes, the Irish whistle, and the fiddle as well. So and dobro, and it's just going to be this nice mix, something a bit you don't hear too often.
I can't wait to hear that either. There's so many people popping in as well and putting comments. And Kaz said, if Liam's next album is half as good as the last album, we'll be very lucky fans. That's true. That is so true.
Thank you so much.
You've just told us that you've got more music coming, but tell us about this single, Inside the Frame. Tell us a bit about writing it, because I would notice it's a fairly recent write.
Yeah, it's pretty recent, this one. This is one that I wrote on my own, and like we were talking about before we came on air here, is the price of living and housing market is very interesting at the moment, and by interesting I mean high. And and we moved down to East Maitland here February last year. I was in Brisbane before that, and coming down, and we Gabby's also a muso, but she's also a uni student. And when you're applying we did about 50 rental applications, and on each one said, "What's your occupation?" And we wrote down muso, uni student, and they sort of looked at it and looked at us, and it was a case of, "Oh, and what's your paycheck?" And we look at each other like, "Our what?" So it was usually a big no, but we eventually found this place, and it's great. We've got the two little pups here, and we've got photos up on the wall. We furnished the whole place from Facebook Marketplace, and it's quite easy, I found, in regards to writing songs. Write your typical heartbreak or drinking, whatever country songs are, or whatever is the go-to at the time. But there's so much to be thankful for, as difficult as life can be or has been. You've always got great people around you, and we got photos up all around the place of of each other, our lives, what we've done with our friends, some big stages we've been on, smaller stages, and with loads of family and friends around us too. And that's what the song's about. It's all about, you've got to have the bad times to appreciate the good.
That's
And
exactly right. Yes.
the hook of the song is, it's lucky I've got you inside the frame. And I think everyone's got a photo frame, or even photos on your phone of what's
Yeah.
important to you, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And it's so true. You have to live through these times to appreciate. Look how much we appreciate live music now, or music in general, and seeing each other in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't really appreciate it before. So Nikki has popped in and agreed with Kaz's comment as well. We've got lots of people. Thank you. Tell us where you're watching from and what you've been up to.
Well, that's my mum tuning in from home in NZ.
In New Zealand. And hang on, there's another more comment. I think they're a bit slow coming up tonight. It's a bit strange. It looks all different. Love your song Inside the Frame. So this is the story behind it. Did it take you long to write this one, or did it just flow?
Just sort of came out, this one. It's it took me a bit of rehashing to go through, and parts of it looking to record, going, oh, that's a bit weird, let's write something else. So I came back to it and tried to do a few things, but majority of it all was there pretty quickly, writing it out.
Yes.
Because I had this idea in my head, and yeah, out it came.
It's great. It's another difference on your song. I love your style of writing, and I love how much you put into the song. But it is different to what people are releasing at the moment. A lot of your music is, which is refreshing to hear.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I'm at this point with releasing is, and people have often said to me, it's like, why are you doing this when it's not on radio? Nobody else wants to do it because it won't get played. And I'm doing this for me. I love working as a session player, and if I'm getting back into the artist thing, I want to be proud and be able to. I want to play them.
Yeah, so I actually was thinking, because I always, listen to the music again before I do a show, and that's exactly what I thought about you just tonight before I did the lives. When I was listening to the song again, I thought, Liam, you can tell the music is different because you do it for you, and you do it because you love it, and that's, I think, why people enjoy it the most, because you're doing it for the right reasons and you're not trying to fit in a bubble.
I think I feel like as well it portrays in the music, because it's different for the musos to play as well, not just in the studio when we record it, but live, and they go, oh, this is different, so it makes us think differently, but we enjoy it and it comes across. So I think that's part of it too.
Different energy, yes. Now, you have been out on the road a little bit, and you've got shows coming up. Are you doing you're opening for Lynn at a lot of her shows at the moment. Are you doing any other shows? Where can we find you?
Not so much aside from that. Definitely, opening for Lynn. We're playing Campbelltown Friday next week. Down South Sydney, I believe, somewhere. My geography is a little slow.
Is it the Beer Shed next weekend? It is, isn't it?
The Beer Shed in Campbelltown. And mid-late July, we're going up Queensland, where we're going up through Tamworth and to Dalby, Toowoomba, then up to Bundaberg and back down to Brisbane. So that's July, and then through the rest of the year we're doing Victoria, South Australia. I think we're working on Tassie as well for October. We're doing a few shows around, and do a few with the Bushwhackers. But most of my original stuff will be it's mostly all with Lynn. We're doing all these shows, so it's exciting.
She was actually telling me the other night she loves when you and Duncan both go on and do some songs before she's on. She said, I'm there watching the whole thing. She said, I can't tell. She said, I just love it so much that I can't even go and get myself ready. I'm there. She said,
she says that because last time we got locked out of the dressing room. But
really?
But we forgot the code. But no, Lynn, Lynn's great. She's always watching the show, but it's just such a lovely tour to be a part of. Lynn's fantastic. I've admired what she does for a long time. How she writes as well, performs. It's so natural. It's really really authentic. Same with Duncan. And also Lynn's husband Damon on the tour running production, just such a great guy. So the four of us together, it's just
great.
It just feels good. It feels right.
You can tell that too, because I haven't seen you guys live yet, not on this tour, but I have seen a lot of videos and a lot of people's footage. So you can see it's really a really relaxed and comfortable environment for you all, which is nice.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time laughing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you were just telling us you've got this song has just come out now. Was it June 3rd? I didn't write that down, so I think it was.
It was going to be a week earlier, but I got laid up with COVID.
Did you? In the end? Oh no.
Well, I still never tested positive. It was one of those. I ended up in hospital for a night with.
That's right. You did too. Yeah.
Yeah, and the nurses, the doctors going off over there, going, "Oh, I hate these rat tests," and never. They just reckon it just didn't show up. But I had
or it could have been influenza A or something. But it sounded like I remember when I was because I'm surprised that you didn't test at some point though, because you were struggling.
Crazy. It was an interesting night, that's for sure. But it was it came out of that, and then through that week I could hardly sing. I'm just constantly tired. But I got to the end and going, I got to get the single out. It's got to, get into the process. So we got to it, and June 3rd it came out.
June 3rd. Have you had a lot of comments around this song?
I've had a fair few. I mean, it's I've got so many great people that have been sharing the song, getting in touch, saying they love it, which is so nice. It's being so long pre-game and trade, pre the first single. It's been so long since the last release, so people are like getting back into the, obviously with the 2 years down where I haven't done anything, people are like, who's this guy? They've all forgotten. But it's really lovely. A load of new people have gone, I've just come across it, and it's really nice, really humbling to have people say it's so great for something that is so left of field.
And when you're out on the road, have you got, obviously it's a single, but have you got hard copies that people can, because you've got your album coming? Or is
I do have the previous album as a hard copy, and that'll be out. Working towards this being an album early next year, going to plan. So there'll be a few more singles this year coming out. I got one in July, which will be the next one. Then the one with the Whackers in August. And eventually will be an album. It's just a case of let's take this as we go, because I got a bit more writing to do yet. Yeah,
and the other side to it also now is it is a single world, isn't it? You've really got to release singles before that album. It's just how it all works, how the algorithm works. It's just what's done now.
That's it. It's the way of the world. As much as I'd love to do, even then when the album comes out next year, it won't be what we all used to know as an album. It's not a consistent storyline or connected songs. It will be an album of a predominant number of singles, but it'll we had a big chat about this the other week with Colin Buchanan. We did a run of shows, and Colin's such a fantastic writer, and he writes for albums as well. But you're right, it's a single world, and
it is,
they're all going to go hand in hand anyway.
They do, and I do miss the old world of a lot of artists do still try and make it a story, but the way it works, it doesn't always happen. But I do miss that whole, you get an album and it'd be in your hand. The first listen for all those songs, it's just you listen for in order and you get the story, because you haven't had those singles you might have one or two maybe, but you didn't have that level. I do miss that style of music coming out, but it isn't viable anymore, and we just have to move with the times, don't we?
I mean, I'm still an album guy. If I can't buy it, because Sanity's all shutting down. If I can't buy it from an artist at a show, I'll put the album on streaming. And as much as artists I don't like streaming, we've all got an account. So
we have to,
you do. But I often put an album on, and if it's not finished, I sit there and go, Oh no, I'll wait because I'm quite hooked in it.
Yes.
The there's one in particular that's great. Rog Corbett put me onto. It's the 1861 project, which is a series of 3 albums that are all intertwined, and they all tell a story throughout,
Wow.
and in order of
Writing
the
that
year
down.
going through, and of Civil War.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's really great.
I'm writing that down so I can. That sounds great. Just what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a few more comments come in. Your mum watching from New Zealand.
My nana, that one.
Was that your nana or your mum? Your mum was
My
watching.
nana, Velma.
Didn't I have your mum come up before? Yep, she's in New Zealand. Yeah, and your nana. And who else have we got here? We got. I can't actually see it until it's up on the screen. Mark is in New Zealand. And Kaz has put a comment. She's the beer shed is a trendy place to be. I haven't been to the beer shed in Campbelltown, but it sounds great.
I haven't either. I haven't even been to Campbelltown.
Oh, there you go. I've been to Campbelltown, Tasmania, but I don't think I've been in New South Wales. But it does sound great. I've actually seen a few people that have done shows there and a bit of footage, and it looks like a really nice atmosphere actually. So it should be a good show.
Fantastic.
Where can we keep an eye out on your new music and where you're, when you've got shows of your own and show other different shows coming up? What's the best spot to sort of follow you on?
Facebook and Instagram are my main two. I struggle keeping up with them on their own, let alone any others like TikTok. It's I recently had to start a new Instagram account thanks to
Yes.
us.
Yeah. You couldn't get your old one back.
I couldn't. We tried, and it was just.
You can't prove that you're actually you. It does my head in.
No, and I can't even verify the new account because it's haven't had it for long enough. But yeah, Instagram and Facebook. Instagram being Liam Kennedy Clark official. I think Facebook's just Liam Kennedy Clark. It's got the blue tick. Yeah. I do have a website as well. I am starting up a mailing list soon. So all those places.
All those things. It is hard to keep up to them all. I am so lucky. I've got such an amazing team of people helping me, but I wish they'd just come up with one platform that would do for every single social media, every single thing that you have to, and as new ones come in, just in one post.
I saw a great meme the other day that somebody said, Twitter should create a place on your home screen where you can put your favorite song for people to know what it is. And it's like, the generation that doesn't know what MySpace is.
That's right.
We're constantly going around. TikTok, I can't even use it because I did at one point and I was scrolling and I looked at the time, 3 a.m.
Yes, I've done that before. In fact, yes, it's actually really dangerous. But it is some of the stuff that's on there. I don't feel as clumsy when I'm watching other people do even worse stuff than I've done, and that's saying something.
It's reassuring then.
It is reassuring, yeah. It's like I used to use Frank Spencer. Do you remember Some Mothers Do Have Him, the TV show? I love that show, and it makes me feel great every time I watch it because I think I'm not quite that bad. I'm close, but I'm not quite that bad. So it makes me feel good. But
that's great.
Don has please said, great interview. Love your new song. And Ricky has got a comment here, but I can't see the words. Liam is on Gippsland for FM 104.7 and looks forward to playing your song on Monday.
Oh, thank you so much, Ricky. I appreciate that. Appreciate the spin.
And hang on, there's another comment coming in. I don't know what's going on. I can normally see parts of them, but I can only just see a name flash and then it goes away.
The youth hostel. Oh, there are some memories. That was my first ever trip to Tamworth was the Kiwi tour where we stayed. My goodness.
How old were you?
I was 16.
Yeah, very young.
I think it was 15, 16. And we there's a big group of us Kiwis flew into Sydney and caught the train from Sydney to Tamworth.
I did that times. It's a long way.
It is a hike. We got guitars out and played, and you could pick the Kiwis because we had a stopover about an hour before Tamworth, and they're like, feel free to hop out and stretch your legs. Everyone got out, and all the Kiwis got straight back into the aircon.
Too hot.
Too hot.
Yep. I do remember. I think my second ever trip to Tamworth, the first one I planed in, and the second one I caught the train in and out. And it is because we don't have passenger trains down here. We don't do trains at all. So it just felt like forever. I've never done something like this. It wasn't 4 or 5 hours. It's not that bad, but it just, it wasn't like driving.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that. And she said that, Kaz said that was when she first met you, was on the train.
Oh, wow. Oh, very good.
And our first trip to Tamworth, so much fun. It's funny, isn't it? Even without that train and that thing, you would have remembered it. That first time in Tamworth, it just sticks with you.
Well, my main memory, and I know Don's comment came up before, my grandfather, he won't like me repeating this, so forgive me. But it's staying at the youth hostel, him and a mate who was on the tour with us. We thought they could get the aircon colder for the night, and ended up breaking it. And we were all, oh.
It wasn't any cooler.
It wasn't. No.
Wow! Did they fix it the next day?
Yeah. We got to go
goodness.
the next morning, but that first night, welcome to Tamworth.
Yeah. I'm from Tassie, so I'm used to the cold like you guys. And my first trip to Tamworth, I got a tent in Tent City, and it was so hot. I remember I just went, I was so tired, and it was so hot in this tent, and I couldn't sleep. So the next day I got up and I went to the movies, and I paid $5. And they said, "What are you to see?" I said, "Whatever is about to show now." And I had to sleep in the air conditioning. That's why I went to the movies.
That's great.
It works. Yeah, $5 movie ticket was pretty cheap too.
Yeah, it is.
So I was very happy with that. But yeah, that's how I survived in Tamworth with my first year in a tent by myself.
Yeah.
Oh dear. We all do it. So you've got some more music coming out next month and then again in August, and you're heading out on the road. You've got Lynn's tour coming up. You're starting that next weekend.
Yep.
And you're also doing some Bushwhackers gigs. So it's exciting. There's lots of places we can that comment came up.
I
like it. I like the Tamworth stories. There's always some great ones. Yes, so we can keep an eye on you and your socials. It's exciting. So if you've got more of these really great photos as we're going along this year, because I love this photographer. He's great.
Yeah, it's about time to renew the images.
Yes.
So we'll get onto that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again. I know we always keep you for ages. I'm sorry. I just noticed you've got the guitars lined up lovely in the background there, looking good.
I got a couple mainly because when we were chatting before the show, I'd pulled all the curtains across. Like, that's the doorway. I'd pulled all the curtains across, and it looked awfully boring. So I thought I'd put a couple
of guitars. Yeah. I
got a few more down here in a rack and some next door with the piano. But the studio's undergoing a bit of an overhaul at the moment. So
I love it. I love how you've probably got more guitars and all these different instruments than you probably do furniture.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, the couch behind me, I again from Marketplace, $20 coming out of a physiotherapist's office.
No, wow, that would have hardly been used then. Only just a few minutes.
No, that's right. It was good. And if I did pull anything while moving it into the trailer, I wouldn't have been far away from getting it fixed.
See, problem solver right there. 2 in 1. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to hear your next single, and we'll definitely be able to catch up with you on the road in the next few months. But hopefully you'll be back next month with the next one.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We have a few other things coming up, but we are still waiting 100% confirmation. So stick with me because we are working on a few things, but we will be back definitely next week with some other confirmed shows. So thank you so much for joining us. And make sure if you haven't already heard Inside the Frame, go and have a listen now because you will love it. Thank you. You have a great night, and thanks for joining us.
No worries. You too. Thanks.
See you guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed today's program. See you next time with the latest with Country Kickback.